Hello my witches and wizards, this is Professor Rowan. I'm coming to you today to announce a change. We are changing to a DIY channel, and this is our first video where we are going to make a silhouette lamp. If you haven't seen one of these before, I strongly encourage you to check out The Craft Maiden. The link will be in the description below. This is inspired by her silhouette lamp, which is the one I'm going to link in the description. Make sure you stay for the end of the video, there's another big announcement. First off, we need our design. I wanted to make the Rowan Reports logo into a lamp. Now, the original logo is based off of the two R's back to back with a wand down the center. I also want to do something a little different. Since I've got two pieces to my logo, the R's and the wand, why not make them two separate pieces of the lamp? Now that we have our design in mind, we need to find our wood. And I'm very much the kind of person who I don't want to go and buy something if I already have it. So this is my pile of scrap wood, and I think this little piece right here will fit the bill. So off to Lowe's.
Are you gonna let me buy all the power tools I can for that?
No, you may not buy all the power tools.
But how are we going to get a following if I don't have all the power tools that we need for all this?
We have plenty of power tools. You don't need any more power tools.
Pshaw, I say to you.
I'm wondering if just getting the picture hanger assortment is going to end up being cheaper. No, that's $10. This is about 6. All right, we're good.
It's like you're going through a lamp section. This is where we have to film everything now. We'll be perfectly lit.
No. This, the particle board, but I don't want...
Not with all the holes in it.
Yeah, not with all the holes in it. I want it this thick. No holes.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Dang well close enough?
Close enough for me.
Before I go cutting any wood, I want to make sure I have a pattern. And I need to make sure that it's symmetrical on both sides. It's exactly the same. I'm not the best artist, but thankfully I have something to copy off of, my logo on the back of my phone. I have a large roll of thick craft paper that I usually use for making dress patterns and things like that, but for this situation, it's more than perfect. I trace out the design in pencil, I go over it again in marker, cut it out, and then I fold it in half, tracing the rest of it on the other side so that it is perfectly symmetrical and easier to cut out. For making the design for the wand in my regular logo is a little too long for a lamp. It's twice the length of the R's. I don't want the wand to be quite that big, so I'm going to narrow it down a little bit, but I also need to make sure that it's wide enough to hide the electronics behind it. Now that we have the patterns cut out, we need to transfer them onto the board. I'm specifically going to transfer them onto the board on both sides with Sharpie, cover those with tape, and then do the patterns again. Having the tape on both sides should help keep this from chipping and looking bad after I've sawed it.
Now that this side is covered with the tape, I can just take this and flip it around.
Okay, so now we need to take some safety pieces into mind. So we need to have our hair pulled back, we need to have our goggles on, some kind of dust guard so you're not breathing in sawdust, and probably ear protection too because of power tools. Okay, I think we're ready to go now. We're going to drill the holes anywhere that we would have to turn the jigsaw, since a jigsaw blade isn't very good at making a corner. We have the holes pre-drilled so that we can turn, and now we just need to sawzall this out. Wish me luck.
Luck!
Thank you. Cutting this out was a bit more complicated than I had anticipated. partially because our jigsaw died in the middle of it and we had to go get a new one. We decided to invest in a DeWalt. Yes, my love, you are right. They are the better option. You can clearly see the difference between how it ships where it was taped and where it was not taped. Da 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 da. It didn't really chip at all. The edge looks pretty decent.
Nice.
Once it's cut out, there needs to be also the sanding. Very much the sanding. I'm painting the supports white to help reflect the light. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be white. I decided to make the two pieces two different colors. The R's are going to be bronze, and the wand is going to be gold. This is just the first layer. We end up with 5 layers of paint, just to make sure that you can't see the black through it too clearly. Now that we've got all the pieces painted and ready to go, it's time for these Avengers to assemble. I'm only planning on using screws in the center area of the R, because the ones on the outside aren't going to be weight bearing or anything. They're just there to keep this from getting bent back against the wall. I need to put a hole in the R's to be able to get the electronics through to the wand. And I'm going to make a sandwich with the R's being the filling so that I can have support for both the wand and the R's screwed together. And I just need to attach the D-rings that we're using to mount it to a wall. With the wood sandwich well in place, it's also now time to glue on the support pieces. These are going to be attached with E6000. If you haven't used E6000 and you're a crafty person, you're welcome. Please try this stuff. It will glue suede leather to shiny plastic. I mean, this stuff is amazing. With the supports glued and dried, it's time to attach the electronics. First, we have to feed the lights for the wand through the front.
Now, because this cord is really weird, it's got LED strip for sections, and then it's got this cord, and then it's LED light for strip for sections. And though the box didn't say anything about how it was not cuttable, it's apparently not cuttable. So we need to plan out where this is going to go very carefully.
After some trial and error, I found the pattern that would work the best. All 3 legs will be lit, and the rounds will hide the excess cords. Now we're going to test to see if the lights work. Lights, please. Yes! Oh, it works. Good. I was really worried. Now that we know that the electronics work, we can take off the tape that was holding it while the glue dried and add the last piece, the wand. Ready to see the final product? Well, here it is. And now, my witches and wizards, for the last piece of news. There's absolutely no way that I am changing to a DIY channel. Are you kidding me? This was ridiculously hard. It took me over a month. This is the longest editing I have ever done. Serious props to Evan and Caitlin, the Craft Maiden, I Like to Make Stuff, all those DIY channels that I love to watch. There is no way that I could possibly get one of these done a week. How do you do it? The amount of editing alone, I am truly impressed and humbled by your ability to accomplish these. So if you're finding me because of the DIY, I actually usually do videos and will be continuing to do videos now, thank you very much, for Wizards Unite. and my witches and wizards. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe, share. It really does help us out. As always, to my witches and wizards, thank you so much, and keep your eyes peeled, your ears open, and your phones on silent.
Happy April 1st!
Happy April 1st! I look like I'm going to rob a chemistry lab. What? Let's do it without me shouting white.
Don't ruin the table.
It's solid steel! How can I ruin the table?